PGA Tour pros will tell you that if they hit the drive and an 18 handicapper took over after the PGA Tour drive, the handicap of the 18 handicapper wouldn't change. But if that same PGA Tour pro took over when the ball is inside 100 yards, their handicap would come down into the single figures. Let's see if that works for me. I'm going to tee off right-handed as a 1 or 2 handicap. I'm going to finish the hole left-handed, which I am a 24 handicap in. Whoo! We left ourselves 83 yards, which is a humongous difference compared to what I normally play here. I normally leave myself probably 200 yards into this hole. This is a big, significant difference. Let's see how we do with a sand wedge from 83 yards. Come on, Maddie. Damn it! That ball went straight sideways. We're still hitting our third shot as if it were playing normally left-handed. Damn it. Perfect. Perfect. We have the new Water Player 66 AF putter in play today with the Garson Ultimate Grip. Absolutely money club. Got some replaceable weights. This is the first putt with it. Oh, I'd say that's a mighty fine putter. Come on. Now I can't hit my driver here because there's water cutting the hole in half up there. That's about 250 to reach. So as a 1 or 2 handicap right-hander, I would hit the 4-iron here. As a left-hander 24 handicap, I'm probably hitting the driver 10 to 30 yards shorter, maybe even 40 yards shorter than this club. Well, not my best. Should be short of that bunker up on the right there. Okay, 135. Oh, eek. Oh, in the bunker. Come on, Maddie, you've been eating too much ice cream every day for the last 2 weeks. Damn it! Why couldn't I have just missed the green there? What a putter, man. If I'm getting these better shots into the green, I have to capitalize on them, but going into hazards and losing balls is not going to help you. We've got 242 to the hole, which is my general position when I'm playing 1-2 handicap golf. I almost never go for it because there's water short of the green and it's a very low percentage shot. I always lay up to the right side there, and we've got about 160 yards to reach the water down there. So I'm going to hit a beautiful 8-iron and lay it up to a distance that I think I'm going to be confidential with, and I think that's probably going to be about 100 yards with a pitching wedge. Okay, we've got 121, we've got the 8-iron. Oh, money, baby. Over the water is perfect. That's all we need. Well, look, I have to practice what I preach, and I'm going to take the pitching wedge and I'm going to do toe down chipping. I'm going to try it left-handed. I've never done it before. Let's see how easy it actually is. I'm going to try land this just on the front, let it roll down from the left. Well, I say that's pretty easy, especially considering I'm not actually ambivalent. Come on, man! Come on! Where I feel like there's going to be a humongous difference using my 1 or 2 handicap game, it's going to be on the par 3s. They turn from par 4s or dreaded holes into par or birdie opportunities very, very quickly. So I do predict par 3 work will make a humongous difference to score. I'm only hitting a 9-iron from 160, which is a huge difference than trying to hit a hybrid, putting it off to the left there, having to chip on to the green. That's a big difference. Now I can attack directly at the hole. Okay, beautiful par. Beautiful par. I think with the 8.5 degree head now, I've got a confidential post-apocalyptic fade. And I think I'm going to be confidential about hitting it and hit a nice big booming drive here. Just over the edge of that tree with a beautiful fader. Or dead straight shot. On shots like this, I actually remove an entire shot because when I play 24 handicap, I have to lay up to here. This is actually going to be my third shot as a 24 handicapper, and now I get to hit my third shot for my second. It's going to make a difference, but how am I going to pick up 120 more yards being left-handed 24 handicap? That's the important question people don't ask, is how do you pick up this extra distance to be able to get it closer to the hole? And that's by getting a better strike first. Not by trying to swing harder, hit it further with your driver. Get a better strike first, and you'll notice with an easier swing, better strike, the ball goes further anyway. 113, pitching wedge. Oh man, on the green, mother lover. Oh, what a beautiful day. I can't hit a driver here because I'm going to reach the water again. This is the difficult part about 1-2 handicap golf, is that we're not always hitting driver because sometimes we have the distance to be able to reach bad trouble. So we hit it to the widest part of the fairway, which even with a 7-wood is still going to go further than my left-handed 24 handicap drive. So it's going to help me to maybe use way less club and not have to lay up as much. So I'm going to aim this one more to the center of the green, and hopefully it comes around. Maybe a bit too much. At least it's dry. At least it's dry. We greenside, we have a chance for the up and down. This kind of dispersion, 25, 30 yards right and left with a wedge in your hand, can be quite common with a 24 handicapper. As you get better, the dispersion left and right will get closer to the hole, meaning you won't put yourself in such tricky positions, maybe a little bit tricky. Down there, the chip is like a 2 out of 10 difficulty. Up here, we have like a 7, 8 out of 10 difficulty, even 9 out of 10 for a 24 handicap, because the pin is cut 3 yards onto the green. We're chipping from above the green, and we want to get greedy. Instead of hitting the sand wedge and then leaving it short and gaffing it, I'm going to hit the pitching wedge and try land it there at the hole and let it roll out so I have a putt. I don't want to have a double chip. And just that alone can save you 2 or 3 strokes around by being aggressive. Just like that. Now I've got a putt instead of a second chip from below the hole. Not too bad, not too bad. Okay, perfect. I'm going to show you the difference between my 24 handicap game and my 1 or 2 handicap game. I'm going to play from the wide tees though, because generally I can't play the 165 yard tees as the 24 handicapper, just trying to clear this water. So I'm going to actually hit an 8 iron from 121, and then with the right hand I'll hit a 52 degree to show you how different the games are. So that dispersion is way left there. Not a bad shot. I'm very happy with that shot as a 24 handicapper. But then when I come here as a right hand 1 or 2 handicapper, I got a 52 degree in hand. This is a pure attack hole. I actually won a birdie right here. Now I didn't hit the ball the distance I do here my whole life. This took a long time of practicing ball striking, getting a couple lessons with Eric Chong, and then hitting a lot of golf balls and playing a lot of golf. There's no deep secret. It's just about learning how to strike the ball, and then once you learn how to strike it, get more confident to hit it harder. Because when you just hit it harder with no technique, it hits all over the club face and goes everywhere. So you have to find the middle of the face with a lesson, and then you're going to gain confidence, picking up speed as you go. So I think I'm going to try to get this one real close like. Probably 12 or 14 feet, and that's pretty good. We have a very similar tricky shot. The ball's above our feet, we're hitting on a downslope, and the dispersion puts us in a place that gives us difficult shots. When you get a better strike and you can start hitting the ball more to where you want to go instead of like way right, way left, you're going to have less of these difficult shots. Just 5 or 6 yards toward the hole, and I've got a very, very easy chip. And these are the small, minor details that can change your handicap from a 24 down to a 17 or 18 handicap, 6 shots around, just by getting a slightly better strike with a coach to put the ball in more favorable positions. This is a tough shot here. We've got the ball above our feet on a downslope. So I'm gonna hit a pitching wedge here and just be aggressive to get it on the green. Not my best shot, but we're gonna have a putt after that. That's all we need, get it on the green. Oh man. On another par 5 hole, I can't hit the driver, but I can get as close to the water as I can with my 7 wood, which is a very reliable club. If I'm trying to hit my driver here, I have to clear 290. 290, you know, there's very few golfers in the world who can clear 290 reliably. A lot of guys will tell you, I hit my driver 280, 290, 300. They don't, I promise, they do not hit the ball that long. Carry 290 here, maybe 0.5% of the world population can do that right here. And reliably, 0.1%. If I have to try hit driver here, I have to finagle it and I bring in big numbers in case I don't pull it off. The 7 wood ski, very reliable, conservative target, cocky swing, that's low handicap. That's the kind of support I like to hear. We still have 248 yards to the middle of the green. So if I hit my 7 iron ski up there, catch it real good, I'm gonna have a pitching wedge or 8 iron into the green, and that's money ski.
Yay!
That's the kind of support I want. That's the kind of support like the guys who subscribe to Only Page for parasocial relationships. I haven't put myself in the ideal position. Now I've got to hit over water here, which is a bit scary as a 24 handicapper. If I could have pushed it a bit further right, I would have been a nipple licker opening up. And that's what we really want to do when we get better strike, is be able to put the ball in positions we really want it. And that will come around 18, 16, 15 handicap. And from there, you can really drop down low when you change your mindset. Because by the time you have 15 handicap, you have every shot necessary to become a 9, 8, or 7 handicap. It's just about understanding you don't need a vast array of shots. You just need the ones that you can play, which will by that time be a lot. Okay, we're going to set this up on the right side for safety. And if it does fade in, that's beautiful money. Gee whiskers. A lot of people want to know what happens in the mind of a putting genius like myself. As the best putter on YouTube, what I do is I get down. I don't get down too low or too concentrated. I get my first instinct. I get my first instinct here. I go, yeah, this is from the left probably. Get down to just see kind of like what's the apex of the break, and then how do I get the ball to roll over that apex. Sometimes you have to go wider, and the beginning of the putt will eventually move it over the apex. But if I go shoot straight at the apex, I'm going to miss on the low side. So you see like a video game trail, and then from there, whether the read is right or wrong, it doesn't matter. As long as you commit to it, it's going to be much better for your putting. And don't change your first instinct, because as soon as you change your first instinct, you try to find a way to miss. You doubt yourself. So I'm not going to doubt myself. I'm going to go on the left a bit here. I know that the grain should help it toward the end, toward the hole from the left. So just find a thing to line the putter up to on the line. That kind of matches where I'm hitting the ball. And then make sure that my eye agrees with where the putter is aiming, if that's my spot. If it's not, I have to move my head or reset. But I feel very confidential here. Now, because I'm lined up, all I care about is the pace. A little bit downhill, a little dry over here, then a bit longer grass there, may get held up. So pretty standard putt. And then as long as we leave it to either side of the hole, we're actually perfect, because all I care about is distance control. The correct distance control finishing on the edge of the hole will plop in. If it's too hard, it's going to rim out and go further past, leaving an easy tap in for whatever you're playing for. I'm going to tee the ball up on the right hand side of this tee, because if I can get a little fader going with the 8.5 degree head, and if I can keep that little fader going with the 8.5 degree instead of that very high 10 degree, I really like the power fader off the tee. It eliminates the left side of the course, which for me is that duck hook that I can sometimes hit, which really kills your game. If I can get a slice or fade every time, that's money. Gonna set this one up with the orange tree in the distance. Hopefully it faders back in. Beautiful money. Damn. Oh my word. Why didn't I get an 8.5 degree long ago? We've absolutely ground and pound that one nearly on the green. The turf is very firm up here, so it probably bounced quite a bit. But this is going to be a humongous difference because at best I'm going to be here for 2 shots as a 24 handicapper. Now if I can just get some pitching feel, I could make a birdie here for the first time. Come on, Matty. Come on. Well, that's exactly the problem, isn't it? Also difficult with firm turf because if I hit it a bit fatty, then I'm going to teeth it a bit like that because of the bounce on a sand wedge. With this kind of shot on lush turf, that would have probably been a slightly better result, but you're going to have to really clip it nicely on firm turf. So let's try another one with a pitching wedge. On firm turf like this, with the wrong bounce, can really screw you up. That club has got probably 12 degrees of bounce, and on a very firm surface like this, you want maybe 8 degrees of bounce. Yeah, that's a much easier shot because the pitching wedge has much less bounce. Continuing on with what happens in the mind of a putting genius. This is the uphill putt, so it's going to have slightly less break because we're hitting it firmer. It's going to have less chance to take a break. It's going to skim over a lot of the break. So we don't take as much break on an uphill putt as we do on a downhill break. There's less break on an uphill putt because there's less time to take the break because we hit it firmer. On a downhill putt, there's more time to take the break because we hit it softer. So that's something we have to consider. We're going to go from the left here, but whatever my first instinct is, generally on these uphill putts, I just reduce the break a little bit, and my first instinct on a downhill putt, I increase the break a little bit. So while my initial instinct is to go 1 hole left here, I'm actually going to go 1 ball left and just hit it up the hill, give it a chance, get that pace control, correcto. What's on my line on that line? A little blemish, aim to the blemish. Beautiful, pace control. And the pace control is great, leaving me a tap in, beautiful. We can see that made a humongous difference in my game, cutting out a lot of the layup shots. But the question we have to ask ourselves, how do we add 120, 180 yards to a tee shot? It's almost impossible unless you're starting right from the beginning and have no confidentiality. If you're a standard 24 handicapper, the best thing you can do without trying to add 80 yards with swing speed is get yourself a better strike. If you can strike the ball better, it's going to go further with less swing speed. You can add swing speed when you build more confidentiality. That's what happens when a low handicap hits the tee shot and the high handicap takes over. Check this video to see the high handicap playing the hole and the low handicap taking over inside wedge range.